Get ready, boys.
This is our only daily show for over a week because there's so many games. Games. But Sam's here. Blood's here. Sean's not here. That's okay. This is the DLS Stars podcast. We have a lot to get to. We're going to look at last week, the 3 games they had, 4 games they have this week. We've got some interesting practice news today, all sorts of stuff. And why is Wyatt being dissed by Hockey Canada projections? We'll get into all that. Stars post-game. Podcast. Whatever we're doing. What are we doing? Stars podcast starts right now here on DLLS. This is the DLLS Stars podcast. That's right, podcast, not pregame, not postgame. Podcast. They all start with P, Sam. It's confusing. Sam Nestler's here, which is no small feat. Anytime Sam is here, we celebrate.
Sir.
Craig Ludwig is here. Ryan Vaughters is our producer. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us today. Before we get into all the meat and potatoes of today's show, waiting for you to say, that sounds good. I'm hungry. Let's talk about the shirts that are on the Face-Off collection. Now, we haven't heard from our boss since last Thursday because he was away for a couple of days. So we don't genuinely know where the count stands. I know that the last time he told me that we needed to sell 8 more shirts by the end of the week. We had a bit of a discussion about what constitutes the end of the week. Luds continues to grumble about the stipulations he added, which he'll talk about later, even though he did it. So I think they're great looking shirts. Get them now. But all of the shirts available on the DLS website, alldls.com, but those new face-off ones, really good looking. Okay. Our show begins today with a look back at last week. We will then take a look at the week ahead. We've got practice news. We have some stats that are not necessarily the most flattering, but they still keep winning or getting points anyway. And then at the end of the show today, depending on how much time we have left, let's talk about Wyatt Johnston being Johnston. Easy to sort of forget that T in there. But
So
getting dissed.
Reporter.
And he didn't even do anything. So let's get right to it. Let's look back at last week before we do our 3 Dallas Stars of the week. Should be a lot of fun. Dallas came through last week as they went from a 3-game point streak to a 6-game point streak. They are now 3-0-3. That means they have not lost in regulation since earlier in October 23rd till now, which is a really great start. They beat the Washington Capitals 1-0 shutout win for Jake Oettinger. Tyler Seguin scores on a puck from the corner. He probably would have liked to have buried a couple other chances in some previous games, but he scored from that one. And then they picked up an overtime loss point against the Tampa Bay Lightning in a game in which Otter was great and the team was not. Tyler Seguin's 1,000th game. And Adam Ernie got his first Dallas Stars goal. And then, of course, the shootout loss in Florida. Sam Steele had 3 assists. Justin Kovian had his first NHL goal, and the Stars continue their point streak in that manner. Now, we'll go one by one through these. And then we, as I mentioned earlier, some practice notes. We talked to some of the guys in Glenn Gullitson today. Lots to get to. But, Luds, when you go back to the Capitals game, neither team was looking to get out of their structure, right? Both teams are a little banged up. I honestly feels like we're saying this about every team in the NHL right now. Whether they come to Dallas or Dallas goes to them, you go, well, they're missing this guy, these injuries here. And we've talked about that. But Spencer Carberry specifically said going into that game that the Caps, who had gotten really raked over the coals by the Ottawa Senators at home the game before, wanted to tighten things up. The Stars wanted to because of missing some key players. Duchene, Hintz, Benn, offensively challenged. They had to go to 11-7 because of an Oscar Beck injury. And they did it the old-fashioned way. Get 1 goal and keep things tight in front of Jake.
I would say Jake on. That's where I would go with that one. Jake was great. Yeah, I think the whole theme of tightening things up in front of Jake Oettinger is going to stay constant, for the whole season and onward with Glenn Gullickson. And I believe that, they're they're by no means on a hot streak here. They're not losing. That's the good news. They're collecting some points. I think they've had some timely saves. I think Casey, with the exception of a game, I thought Casey has done his job. The guy that comes in and gets his opportunity to play. Um, but again, it all goes back to the names that you mentioned that are out of the lineup. So this is where I go back to Glenn Gullickson in the offseason being hired, saying how he wants his team to learn how to play. When you go through these things, you kind of squeak points out. And these points will become important once they get everybody back in the lineup, I believe, and they get a little more continuity with their lines, and they can be a little bit more dangerous. Then again, good on Sam Steele, especially last game. He was excellent. You mentioned Riskovian. It's been those guys. Again, we see Mikko. I mean, I don't know how much gas this guy's got in his tank, right, Sam? I mean, it just seems like every time he's on the ice, he's giving you that second, third effort. And so I think when he gets the right guys on his line, we're going to see that all take shape.
Now, I haven't seen your choices yet for 3 Dallas Stars of the week. We'll get to that later. So I haven't seen.
Unfortunately, after everything I just said about Mikko, I'm going to tell you he's not one of them.
Well, that was.
I don't know why, because I think I'm getting used to him being
that was
guy.
the next thing I was going to ask was use the 4-star general helmet last week. You did the Jackie Gleason bus driver before that. He should be a locomotive because he's literally pulling this train along.
I don't know what more you can say about what he's doing. And I go back to his very first game when he put the jersey on in the first game, and I remember him getting run from behind. You know that one? And where is everybody? Where's the cavalry?
Real reaction.
Where is everybody? But again, this year is a total, to me, as good as he was when he first got here and played that. How many games did he play in regular season? 20?
I want to say he played right around
somewhere in that
20,
neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's much better. He has. I just think that he's got that under his belt, so to speak, coming in after the offseason. He is, I think you mentioned first time about to see with him, or somebody did.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Sean was the one that in game 5.
Was it Sean? Okay.
He said Mikko the captain and Gully the head coach. Half of it's come true so far.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
And again, nothing from taken away from Wyatt or Miro.
Newsflash: Craig Ludwig trying to get Jaime Benn out of.
No, I'm talking about after. This is way after Jamie's gone.
He doesn't like Colin Blackwell very much either.
Yep. He's just hating on Blackwell. You know it.
The leader is still alive and breathing. He's just not 100% healthy
That's right.
to come back right now. That's for sure. But whenever that day comes, who knows? Jamie may outlast Mikko. He may be that dinosaur
another
that
8
keeps
years.
on
Wouldn't
playing.
that be something? Wouldn't
But
it?
no, Rantanen's been excellent, and unfortunately, sometimes now you just overlook that during games, and other guys pop out to you because Rantanen just does it nightly.
Bing bong.
Got a super chat. We're going to get
Probably
into some of
something I
these
said.
numbers, but let's see. A Robertson and a Johnston from Hidalgo or Hidalgo, depending on if it's a soft J. Is it like dogging? Defense is okay. David Castillo recently wrote how even with the injuries, their lack of winning the possession game is a concern. They should be better since they still have Robo at all. Although, if I must be specific, at all is only 1 L, not 2. What do you guys think?
Parody.
Okay, so we'll give you a – that's a great response, Sam. Very nice. One quick thing, and then we're going to circle back to this because we have some stats, we have some rankings to show during this point streak that we'll probably show in the next segment. But, yes, they are getting points with a depleted lineup. They are doing it in the game against the Caps and against Tampa Bay. They had only 11 healthy forwards dressed. They got back to 12 against the Panthers, but they are fighting. So let's just said, Sam, that getting those points now counts later, right? Gully will do a big practice update later in the show. Gully talked about what that can do to help galvanize the team and benefit them down the road, even if the way the lines he thinks in his head when people are healthy look very different than they do right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're learning to find a different way to win games or get points out of games right now. And when you look at the lineup, injuries, you don't want to use them as an excuse, but I just looked at you, Owen, and said, this team has one line that is not grinder, third or fourth line. legitimately. They have about 12, 11 of their forwards that are no, sorry, 9 of their
Yeah, let's
forwards.
do the math.
Yeah, I'm not good. 8 or 9 of their forwards that should be on a third or fourth line. That's a real thing. And it's really, this team is not, the best offensive team in the world in general, especially with a new coach. I mean, you're looking at Glenn Goaltending coming in. You're trying to change a few things. You're trying to implement a new defensive system. Then you're missing not just players, your best creative offensive players. Your Hintz, who drives play. Your guys that can. Your Duchene, who creates off of everything. Key power play guys. It's not surprising at all to see this team struggling to create offense. But on the other end of it, I think Goaltending said today, we're learning how to play in our defensive end because we're in our defensive end far too much.
Yeah,
right?
he said, what was the line? It was something to the effect of, we spend so much time there, we're getting good at it.
Got a chance to really work on it. They were doing a lot of stuff today at practice again, working on not getting their winger to commit too early to the corner so that the pass gets up top and they get in I think he called it the spin cycle with some, again, expletives. But the overall theme here is that this team is finding a way to learn. And as you just said, later on, when you get your players back, it should help, not just for Goldson, who now has a laundry list of lines that work and don't work, but also for your team to know that, hey, we can win this way if we really desperately need to. Now let's find the extra bit of creativity. Let's find the extra bit of offense off the rush and things like that. So I think it can always help you to deal with adversity. And I've said this multiple times, to do it now on November 3rd and through the month of October, a lot better than doing it in April.
I don't know if that extra creativity is going to come until some bodies come back.
You need them.
It's on the job training. That's what they're doing. And and again, I'll tell you this: when you win defensive styled games, or you have to play a certain way, and you win that game with that being in the forefront, your defense before your offense, that is because of 20 guys play that way. When you win a lot of hockey games offensively, it becomes about 3 or 4 guys because they're the ones that score the goal. So you feel better. I did. I felt better, like I had more of a role in the outcome of a win if it was a defensive kind of game and everybody was part of it, because everybody has to be part of the defensive game. Goaltender out. Offense is, oh yeah, that's right. Badano scored and Lettinen scored and Brett Hull scored and then Zuby had 6 points. Oh, awesome. We won the hockey game. But then when you get that game where all 20 guys have blocked shots and taken hits and given hits, and you play in front of your goaltender and all that kind of stuff, it becomes kind of a bonding kind of scenario.
It's a good word, because this team, they're not a bunch of new faces, right? But there are some new faces, new players moving into different spots, and a new coaching staff. So the bonding is important.
And the players that you're talking about aren't necessarily the top of the league kind of player.
Right.
They're glue guys, like Ritzkovian and Ernie and Bastian. Those are the glue guys that come out of that game like they were actually in the war with the other 19 guys.
Yeah.
So, Tampa get a loss in overtime. I heard, now Jake wasn't there today. I'll tell you why a little bit. But we heard that he was really upset. I think Heika said he was frustrated after that game. He played very well. They got an overtime loss, but they banked a point. They won against the Caps, winning 1-0. They gave up 1 goal in regulation and lost 2-1. They had a 5-on-3, even though we all agreed on the Lightning game that they weren't the better team for a large majority of it, but they found themselves with a 2-man advantage and a chance to take the lead and maybe steal both points. Then they go to Florida. They fall behind early, rally back because of the Ritzkovian high-sticking double minor that he suffered, and he scored the second one on that, and we have a funny story on that as well. And they were 3-3, went to overtime, went to a shootout, and they got a point, but they didn't beat the Panthers either. But they had lost to them 4 straight times in regular season action. So, Buds, we'll carry this over. Are the Stars happy with their 6-game point streak? Are they unsatisfied? Where do you think the team sits? Because based on what Sam and I saw at practice today, it wasn't as if this team was in a celebratory mood.
Well, they shouldn't. I mean, they shouldn't be. They haven't. They've got a point out of it because of goaltending, because of a couple other guys. I mean, you're happy when you win, and I talk about that before. Especially the home game. Your home record, if you play 750 at home and you play 500 on the road, at the end of the year, you're going to have 100, 102 points. That's a playoff lifestyle. That's how you. That's kind of the way you go about it. And they want to win more of those games and come out with 2 points versus 1. So, what's to be happy about? Because they're used to winning. I mean, they've been around here for a long time, and they usually have 50+ wins at the end of the year. And so, I mean, don't be satisfied until you actually win a hockey game. And I think they'd prefer to win them in regulation than giving another club, even though sometimes it's on the other side. It doesn't matter that much. But why give some of these teams that you may be in a playoff race positioning an extra point?
All right, up next, we're going to show you some numbers as to why they're not feeling better about their 6-game point streak. And we'll do our 3 Dallas Stars of the week here on the DLS Stars podcast. But first, let's talk about Shady Rays, and then I can't wait to see Sam in his new hat. You know that moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away, or maybe you left it at the security checkpoint at the NHL rink. Maybe, and you forgot, although usually they're nice enough to return them for you. Well, we've all been there, but then you realize Shady Rays has changed the game because they make sunglasses that are for real life. They're seriously good-looking, polarized, I'm already laughing, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So that means that you can, just like me, wear your sunglasses when you're comfortable without fear, whether it's a hike, a concert, the rink, going on a boat, wherever. Maybe you're Luds and you're ripping down the construction-laden highway I-35 with his sunglasses. Shady Rays has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, Sam.
Why are you looking at
Lads,
me?
let me tell you something. Long-term growth is important, not just for this beautiful
eventually
hair.
it just starts to shrink and shrivel up.
You worked on your hair for a long term. You had the long flow. You still have it. When I finally grew some hair out for college lacrosse, it took me a long time. Long-term growth is not only important for these beautiful locks, but it's also important for hockey.
You look like you are Sam Yager.
Appreciate it. It's also important for
Yarmir
banking.
Nessler.
PNC Bank recognizes the value of long-term growth. Pick up your free Dallas Stars hockey hair hat pregame at PNC Plaza. Compliments of PNC Bank. November 4th, that's tomorrow, and 6th at PNC's pop-up Main Street branch. No purchase necessary, 1 per person while supplies last. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., PNC Bank, an official partner of the Dallas Stars.
Speaking of PNC, it's time for the PNC Bank Mullet Report.
I get to keep this on.
Yes, you do, which
Love
is
it.
why we did this. Every day on our show, we are picking from our favorite hockey hair from around the NHL, and today our selection is a guy that Luds knows well, the legendary Bob Probert. Luds, when you see this photo,
That was the same look he gave me right there before he punched me right in the forehead. Right there. That was it. He's like, okay, dude, let's go.
Is that Shanahan behind
Nah,
him?
it looks like Joey Kosher, but that's Joey Kosher.
Okay.
Why did he punch you in
Either
the
one.
forehead?
Very
Another
tough.
one.
Tough.
Another one. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if there are younger listeners or viewers watching that don't know who Bob Probert is,
go YouTube him.
is he number one on most people's lists as
Roby?
toughest fighter in the NHL?
Yeah, and I think Brown would be up there. Dave Brown would be up
Yep.
there too. But no, I think for sure Bob Probert.
Did he really punch you in the forehead?
Oh, everywhere. Not just the
Was it
forehead.
because you did something wrong, or was that just because he was playing that way?
No, you know what? I didn't even want to do what I did that time because he ran somebody, I think it was, and I look around like, where's our guys? and I'm like, geez.
You were the next man up.
Yeah, so it looked like I hit by a
Well,
truck.
you can pick up your free Dallas Stars hockey hair hat like
Very
this
nice.
one. They're different color hairs, by the way, and different textures.
What's with
Mine-
the little rat tail on that one there?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a long stretch on that one. Sam's got the curly hair, the Yager look on yours. There's
That's the South one right there.
a
Florida.
one that's I think a redheaded one that we have as well.
You
But
could
you can
find
pick
a
them
look
up
with Matt Duchene
Pre-game
like that,
at
too.
PNC Plaza. PNC Plaza, if you don't know, is right out in front of the American Airlines Center, where both Mike Modano and Dirk Nowitzki's statues are housed. Right there. They will compliments of PNC Bank. So tomorrow night, November 4th, and on Thursday night, November 6th, at PNC's pop-up Main Street branch.
Nice hat.
And come hang out with us on November 6th. We will be out there hanging out for about an hour before the game from about.
Do we get to wear this?
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't you? 6 to 7. Come meet us, take pictures, get your free hat while supplies last. No purchase necessary. One per person. Copyright 2025, the PNC Financial Services Group, Incorporated, PNC Bank, an official partner of Dallas Stars. Look at that.
I got to be honest with you guys.
You're going to wear it the rest of the show
I
now?
look damn good in this.
I think you look like you belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might just keep it.
You should. Okay. Guys, I have some numbers for you. You guys know what you saw, but the numbers back it up. This 6-game point streak is not a flattering example for the Stars, but better to have banked 9 points out of a possible 12, playing 750 hockey, because I was getting ready to look at stuff this morning, and I saw a tweet from our buddy Robert Tiffin last night, and he pointed about a couple of these. So I kind of grabbed Robert's tweet and expanded on it. And looking at the numbers, where the Stars rank in the NHL since October 23rd, which is when they started this point streak. So in the last 6 games, as you can see, they are near the bottom of 32 NHL teams as far as goals per game, and they are tied for the league lead in goals against, meaning the fewest. 5-on-5 is where it really takes a turn. They are tied for last because Seattle also only has 5 goals during this span in even strength 5-on-5 goals with just 5. They've played 6 games. They've scored 5 goals even strength. They've only given up 7 against. Thankfully, if you look at the bottom, their power play is tied for 4th in the league during this span, and I think they're 3rd overall for the whole season. Those last 2 numbers, goaltending,
Special teams and goaltending.
Special teams. And the penalty kill's been a little better lately. They've been leaky, but in the 80s. And I couldn't help but point this all out. And then we have another graphic to just show you how much they're grinding. Look at, this is during the point streak, the hits and the block shots rankings for the Stars right now. They are number 1 in hits and 3rd in hits per 60. And they are 2nd in block shots and 1st in block shots per 60. They are doing whatever they can. Now, Ryan, can you flip back to that last graphic just ever so quickly, if you would, please? Because there's one thing that's not on there that I wanted to point out. See how you have the 5-on-5 shot attempts and the 5-on-5 shot attempts against? That's a pretty big disparity. Well, the differential is minus 106 per game. Sorry, that's over 6 games. That's 32nd in the NHL in shot attempt differential. Colorado currently during this 6-game span leads the NHL at plus 87 shot differential. That means shot attempts for minus shot attempts against. Remember, Dallas is at minus 106, and on the other end, Colorado is plus 87. When you see all that, does that back up what you're seeing on the ice the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean,
Let's say Jake Oettinger.
Because again, I say Otter and again, you can go back to the second board there when you look at like
the block shots.
Yeah, that's not. Trust me, we don't have a bunch of guys that like blocking shots. Okay, I'm sorry, they don't. I don't think many guys today do. That's because you're spending so much time in your own zone.
Yes.
That's where those numbers come from. They're not like they're laying out for them, but give them credit for getting in lane. So, yeah, you're living, not necessarily living dangerously, but you'd like to, again, the other thing is when you look at special teams, I mean, they're 4th best in the league as far as allowing power play goals. Okay, so they're at a good spot there, and that goes back predominantly to Jake. And I would say, and again, I think of Sam Steele and I think of Colin Blackwell because those guys, when they are killing penalties, they seem to be, in my opinion, they're the best guys in position for the most part to be blocking shots. So anyways, yeah, that's exactly where they're at. And like I said, this is on the job training for Gully and his system because, like he said, they're getting a lot of practice at it. But that's a good thing.
Sam, the positive is during this point streak, from October 23rd through November 3rd, now not games tonight, but through the games on last night, November 2nd, they're tied for 2nd in the league in points, 9 points. They are tied for 3rd in point percentage at 750. And they're one of only 3 teams without a regulation loss in that span. You'll never guess the other 2. It's the Buffalo Sabres at 2-0-3 and the Seattle Kraken at 2-0-2. So maybe not the teams that you would necessarily pick out as the biggest contenders. The Buffalo's had a nice little turnaround lately. Seattle's had a better start than a lot of people thought they would. We'll see them on Saturday. But ultimately finding ways to win, even when the numbers like this isn't sustainable.
No.
But they also know that the injury issue isn't going to be on forever. And I think that's an important point.
Yeah, I don't treading water is a good way to look at this team. I mean, they're not going to play their best game with everyone that's injured. It's just not going to happen. But you look at the playoffs the last few years, teams are getting in last day, right? Teams are getting knocked out 2 days left in the season. It's that close. And the parity in the league.
That's right.
Yeah. Damn right I got that right.
I had to think about it, make sure
the parity in the league is did you know those different words than
I did
than parity?
Yes. Spelling too.
Yeah, it's so even across the league now that it's you really don't. I mean, imagine if the Stars had lost 6 in a row instead of this 6-game point streak. We're still talking about the same problems because they're probably still playing the same way, but that's a whole lot of points that you're looking at towards the end of the year. I mean, if you look at how this October and then as long as this goes, we don't know when these guys are going to be back. The first 2 months, let's say, of the year, if they're able to find these points consistently, and it doesn't need to be a 6-game point streak, but a shootout loss here, a 1-0 win when they maybe didn't play that well here, that is a huge difference that can lead them to, hopefully they're not in the bubble and they're not trying to get in a wild card spot, but it may be the difference between second and third and home ice advantage in the Central, or winning the division, or jumping into third and not in a wild card. It's huge. And I think that should be the way that we look at it now with over the next few weeks here.
You're fortunate.
I can't read that.
I'm laughing because Burned Oil said, love how Sam said parity, and then Billups says parity, as in the bird.
Yes, parity.
Parroty.
Parity.
Parity.
Is that a word too?
No.
Oh.
Funny, but not really.
It is now. It's fortunate. They're fortunate right now that these are games 1 through 20-ish, 15, 14, whatever it may be, up until the first 20, because after that, generally teams will get their game in order. Right. So teams not being running on all cylinders like they generally are in the beginning of seasons is helping them find ways to collect points. Because if they're still playing like this around game 35 or 40, there's going to be opponents that they're going to be playing against that have their game in order. Their power play is going to be better. Their penalty kill, their 5-on-5 is probably all going to be better. So, it's better that they're going through this early in the season because other teams are too.
All right, let's do the 3 Dallas Stars of the week selection that we've now done on a weekly basis, and we'll have to figure this out. So last time Lud sent us his pictures ahead of time and had to give us a chance to guess. We have not seen them. In fact, I texted Ryan right as we were starting going, did Luds forget to submit his? Because he sent us the proofs of the other ones.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, boy.
So we have, interesting. That's do you know any of those?
I think I know 3.
You know 3 of them?
No, I know number 3.
That's Steve Ott.
That's Steve Ott. So that's the Otter.
It's got to be Jake as the third star. Okay.
I don't know what the middle one is at all.
It looks like an auction house or a fancy ballroom or something, even though there's palm trees.
That's Robin, right?
That's the, superhero Robin. So is that
Steele?
Sam Steele? But that would be weird for Robin because he's a superhero.
I don't know how this guy's brain works. Any guess on that second one?
Boy, Luds, you got us on 2 out of 3 this time.
Well, we probably ought to move on then.
I mean, it could be Wyatt.
What is that room in the second
one? Oh, I wonder if Robin is Ritzkovian for the R on his shirt. That's my guess.
All right, what do you got? What's this? What's the room?
Okay,
in the
well,
middle?
we gotta give the full time.
Okay, so if you guys think you have a guess, get into that. No way Robin is Robo. Ardell was guessing Robertson. Check those out in the chat. We'll get back to that. So Luds likes to do his guess and then reveal last. So now, Sam, what did you have for your 3 stars of the week?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, it was Jake. Jake was number 1. There we go. Jake was number 1. Ritzkovian, I so badly wanted to make him number 1, but I feel like I would have gotten made fun of for that. But number 2, getting his first goal. We have some stories about him soon as well. Jake we've talked about it already. He was absolutely fantastic. And then Sam Steele, 3 assists, couple of power play points. He may not have, that was his one big game, with a lot of points, but he has been thrown into every scenario possible. Power play time, different lines, different combinations. And he hasn't sparkled, but I don't think we expected him to. He hasn't been bad, and he's helped those lines out. So I give him full credit as number 3 there.
Okay, let's go to mine. Luds, by the way, I think our our diehards in the chat are nailing this, but
Good.
I'll save it, and then
Good.
before you reveal, I'll tell you what their guesses are. So here's mine. I agree. Jake Oettinger was
They
stellar.
weren't that hard.
I never would have gotten
First
that one.
2 games, it was on Jake. He obviously got the shutout. Look at those numbers. He's going to be upset he didn't win 2 games, especially against Vasilevsky in the second one because he was really good. Mikko Rantanen led the team in points. He had a goal, 2 assists. He was important in all of those games, even in the first one where only Tyler Seguin scored. Rantanen had an assist on that, and of course a big goal as part of the Florida. I mean, he helped them get a point because if he doesn't score in the third period, that game's over. And then Sam Steele was excellent. I had Steele, his best game was the third game, but he averaged 19 minutes, 26 seconds of ice time over the course of the week, and he won 63.6% of his faceoffs. So, because I almost had Adam Ernie as my third star over Sam Steele, but Ernie and Ritzkovian gets my honorable mentions, each getting their first goals for Dallas. Ritzkovian's first in the NHL. And how about this? Ernie was a plus player for the week. Ritzkovian was even. So they're not hurting the team. They're helping the team. All good things. Now let's check out Sean because we had him do his villains of the week. And let's see if you can guess why. Third star was Brandon Hagel, who we all thought was the best player on the ice for the Tampa Bay Lightning on
Well, we know
Thursday.
why. I mean, he had 2 goals.
Right?
So,
and then the second star is Russian
well,
goalies.
didn't the goalies basically own the Stars?
Yep, they were very good. And then
well, I know this clown has something to do with the Mavericks.
There you go.
They're
First star,
doing the
Patrick
Stars,
Dumont,
right?
the principal owner of the Dallas Mavericks. So that was Sean's. By the way,
Look
if
at
you
Sean
notice,
in the corner.
Sean is right. He's got the laser eyes and the vaudeville mustache.
Steve Spot Eyes.
He looks very much like the villain. All right, Luds. Before you give us your reveal, according to the chat, well, we got an interesting one here. The second, Ryan, can you show yes, that's it. Number 2 star. Blips has Ritzy, as in that's a Ritzy. Their name is Blips.
Risky?
Ritzy, as in that middle picture looks like it's at the Ritz or something. So that was the guess there. The first one is Stars fan wrote back up to Batman, so Robin might be Casey. That was the guess. Art Ross said Robo for Robin. Ardell thinks Sam Steele might be Robin. Those are the guesses so far.
Doesn't anybody remember when Bennigan was around? Jaime Benn and Tyler Seguin. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember who Batman was? Remember who Robin was? Who was Robin?
He was the sidekick.
But who was he on this team? It was Tyler.
Oh, to Jamie's Batman.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
remember
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah. Jamie was Batman and Tyler was Robin. And then they went to Bennigan.
Oh,
and so
Sagan.
Yeah, it was Seguin.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
smart. I
So
like
the Ritzy
that.
one they got right. That nobody
Well,
got
it. They got it right, but again, so Justin is from Ile-Bizard, which is in Montreal. So that's the Ritz-Carlton in Montreal.
Oh, the Ritz in
and he's from Quebec. And actually, when I went on my little map thing, and I went, you're not going to believe this is weird, is I went from Ile-Bizard to that Ritz-Carlton is 47 minutes. He's number 47, isn't he?
49.
Oh, shit.
That would have been
Well,
great.
wait. I mean, shoot. Wait.
It was pretty close.
Go back.
Maybe it was
Reverse.
49 minutes. But the numerology was
Oh,
there.
wait. No, hang
As long
on
as
here.
there's a little extra
Let's do it
traffic.
again. Oh, well, hang on. Well, I was close.
That's
What does it
not
say
right.
right now?
50.
50 minutes. So maybe
Based on
the
traffic.
first one
We
was
need
47.
someone walk across the street right now. We need to drop a minute.
So it's
Was that
pretty
a
close.
That's Not Right drop that I barely heard? Oh, I love it. That's my favorite. That's Not Right.
That's amazing.
So, Luds, you had Tyler 1, you had Ritzkovian 2,
Yeah.
and you had Jake 3.
Well, and again, Tyler milestone,
Yep.
right? That's a big milestone for Tyler. For Ritzy over there, his first goal, as you said. Who the hell did I have? Jake.
Jake.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Jake could have easily been first for me. It's
I
just
feel like you can every week.
yeah, and unfortunately, when you're that good all the time, you just kind of I can't keep just like
Yeah.
Randon. He's kind of getting left in the.
And think
behind.
about that. You got Wyatt, you got Mikko, you got Robo, you got Otter. All of those guys, you feel like you could just about every week. But all right, those are our. Sam is not going to take this hat off again. He's
so
going to
nice.
sleep in it now. Up next, let's look at the week ahead. And Sam and I will give you some updates from practice that we were at today, because the rest of the week is games here on the DLS Stars podcast.
Sam, you're going to want to pay attention.
Okay.
Someday you're going to have a house.
I'm ready.
You're going to have to look up Qualis. Qualis Roofing is one of the most trusted names in roofing across North Texas and Austin. Homeowners and business owners alike consistently praise Qualis for their honesty, follow-through, and quality of workmanship, just like Sam. Whether it's your home or your business, Qualis Roofing has you covered, literally. They specialize in both residential and commercial roofing projects. Based right here in North Texas, local, experienced, and committed to doing things the right way. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest assessments and quality work. Schedule a free, right up your alley, Sam, roof inspection and get a free DLLS shirt. Replace your roof with Qualis and choose between a free Blackstone grill or Traeger. I mean, you can eat the whole 9 yards. In your home, or if your home was hit by recent storms, don't wait. Qualis offers free storm damage assessments and can help guide you through the insurance process. Qualis isn't just good at roofing, they're great at communication. You always know where your project stands and what to expect next. Call or go online to schedule your free, just say your Sam roof inspection, and don't forget to ask about your free grill. Visit QualisGC.com or just search Qualis Roofing and Construction. That's QUALIS, or call 817-500-9008 and get started today.
This episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I and everybody make decisions every day, but with Prize Picks, you can get paid to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, which means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You want to pick more on Josh Allen for pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, which why wouldn't you? You can now do that in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. But Prize Picks also allows you to follow players so you can copy their lineup. So if someone makes the really good picks, you can just copy it, whether it's a friend or someone else on the app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code DLS to get $50 in lineups after you place your first $5 lineup. That's code DLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. Let's look as he's in a hair commercial for product now.
This is just unbelievable. I wish I had this back.
Well, now you have it. Aren't you glad we opened it up so you could have it today? Yeah. First, Sam was like, "Oh, am I going to wear this or not?" Now he will not
wear it every day.
I love it. This week, the Dallas Stars have a 4-game week in 6 days as we continue a new stretch of 7 games in 12 days, just like they just came off of last week. And Luds, here's your favorite schedule graphic of the week. They play the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow night. This is the first of the PNC Bank Main Street mullet hat giveaways, and that's against, of course, the Oilers. Oilers play tonight in St. Louis, so Dallas will have the advantage of a little extra rest and energy going into tomorrow's game, although Glenn Gulletson pushed back on that today and said that he thinks it's going to be harder because it'll be their 3rd game in 4 nights. He said the players are too fit now for back-to-backs to be a big deal, but we still see that. He said, Luds, and I thought this was really interesting. We'll talk more about this in our pregame show tomorrow, that it's really important to get on and pressure and attack teams that are playing the second night if you've had the advantage of rest. He wants to not let up on them early and kind of be maybe a little bit more aggressive against the Oilers tomorrow night.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, your second game of a back-to-back is a slow start, and then you kind of get a little bit better in the middle of the game, and then as end of the game starts to come around, then it starts to hit you a little bit. So, yeah, Gully would like to get out ahead of it. I mean, regardless if they're playing last night or not. I mean, this is a big game for Glenn Gulletson, obviously facing a team he knows very, very well.
So then you have the Anaheim Ducks coming in on Thursday night, which is, of course, the return to Dallas of Joel Quenneville with the upstart Anaheim Ducks. They're a good young team, lots of speed. Then you go to Nashville Saturday for a 2:30 start, afternoon game in Nashville. Rematch in Bridgestone. Of course, the Stars won the first game 3-2 a little over a week ago now. And then Mason Marchment back to Dallas with his new team on Sunday, 6 o'clock, Stars at Seattle Kraken. That's the schedule for the week. But I want to, before we talk any more about those games, I want to talk about what we learned today at practice. Because as we're sort of hinting at the first couple of segments, Sam, the line combinations are a little different now as we see they're keeping the Robo, Wyatt, and Rantanen line together. But just looking at how they're constructed without Duchene, Hintz, and Benn, it looks like they have an extra 4th line instead of a couple of top scoring lines.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Robertson with Johnston and Rantanen, and Gulletson said today that's been one of the pairs he's liked. He liked Hintz with Rantanen, but he's also liked Wyatt Johnston with Rantanen as well. And then Stegen in the middle of Steele and Bork. They've liked Stegen down the middle. It gives them a better option. Ernie, Fox, Sebastian, Beck, Fritzkovi, and Blackwell. Those are your kind of your double fourth lines, I guess, if you want to. But keep finding ways to score goals if you're Ernie or Ritzkovian, whoever it might be, and that's a good way to up that a little bit. And then everything else the same in terms of defense pairs. Been nice, knock on all the wood possible, but like other than Nils Lundqvist, it's been nice that they've been able to kind of roll mostly the pairs they want to, which has been good. The only other absence today was Jake Oettinger. Casey DeSmith is expected to start tomorrow against the Oilers.
And tell everybody why.
Because Jake and his wife, Kennedy Oettinger, welcomed their first child sometime in the last 24 to 48 hours. I believe it was a planned thing for Sunday since they had the
a scheduled delivery on Sunday.
They had the 2 days off from games, which is a rarity in their schedule right now. So we don't know any further details. The only thing we do know is they waited to find out gender and any of that kind of stuff. So we're waiting to find out that everything went well. According to Golitzin, it seems like it did, and finding out what the gender and name of this baby. And the baby otter is filling up my timeline on Twitter.
Oh, I bet
with
it
just
is.
all different gifts of otter pups. So congratulations to the otter.
Lud's Gully said that Jake, who didn't practice today, probably won't play tomorrow. You know, he didn't say definitively, like as in he's definitely out, but I don't think he'll play tomorrow is what he said. So you get Casey getting a start against the team that played the night before. He obviously played well against
Casey's
Florida.
played against the Oilers before, right?
I believe so. But here's the thing. You know that Jake wants to win games. He wants to play, period. And he wants to play against the team that knocked him out the last 2 years in the playoffs.
He's got a pretty bad record.
Yes,
someone
he
told me
lost,
that.
right? It wasn't we lost. It was
Somebody
he
said
lost.
that to
We
me.
should have that little drop for from DeBoer.
Oh, yeah, we could clip that, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
you know, I think, of course he would want to play, but I think Casey's played pretty good. Now that he's got it seems his game is getting back after the summer and all that stuff, and not being able to play every other night like Jake does. So, you know, and with Edmonton, I mean, their road record isn't that great. I think they're 2-4-1 or something like that on the road. So, but I do see, especially with the line you're talking about, that's by design. First off, you're at home. You can get last change. You get them out who you want to. It'll be interesting to see how he wants to go up against McDavid. And will they put? I just got a feeling they may split up Draisaitl and McDavid, but when they do put them together, it'd be a luxury for Gully. I think you don't have to worry about it. You can get your big line against them because the best way to defend those guys is if you have the puck.
Yep.
Because even if you have your best setup defensively, those two guys together they found ways to get through that. So to me, that's a puck possession line, not only a offensive kind of thing, but a puck possession line at home. You have last change. You know.
Sam, we also had updates today from Golitzin on Duchene, Hintz, and Jaime Benn.
Yes, Duchene and Hintz remain day-to-day. They are both out tomorrow. We did confirm, I think it was confirmed last week, that Duchene was not in any sort of concussion protocol.
Yes, we did.
Also confirmed Hintz is not either. So these are both, they're not giving us much more than that. These are both upper body injuries. They said Duchene's is just lingering. They thought it would be quicker than it has been. And then Roope, we've heard very little other than upper body injury. Still day-to-day. They are both going to be out tomorrow, so we will see this lineup tomorrow. And then Jaime Benn, he's been skating on his own. Saw him skating with Duchene and a couple of the – I always forget the name of that team. Thank you, Brahmas. And Ben is they're hoping he skates with the team soon. And he's been around the rink, saw him again today. From what we heard, it should be a pretty quick ramp-up once he starts hitting the ice. So hopefully within the next week or so, he gets in with the group.
Gully said that he was hoping that Jaime will be able to start skating with the team at some point this week. Now, once he does that, there's still the ramp-up of team activities, probably no contact, and then contact. So it may be a week or two.
Conditioning's the big one, right? He was completely shut down for a month.
The other thing is what he said about Roope Hintz was he's hoping he's good in the next few days. Left it kind of open-ended, but with Matt Duchene, he said you can't rush it. So I don't know when we're going to see Matt Duchene. I'm not saying it's going to be a month from now, but it could. You just don't know. It sounds like Hintz maybe a little closer, and at least they're hoping. And then, of course, the Jaime Benn thing. Those will be big lifts. All three of those guys will be big lifts to get them back in the lineup healthy and going, and will completely change how the Dallas Stars approach these games.
Well, and you're going to – let's not expect them to step into the lineup and be the same guys they would be if they had 40 games underneath their belt. So they're going to have to go through that process. And, of course it will. I mean, again, look at all the numbers. Where it's going to help you is offensively, at least creating chances and probably a little bit more puck possession.
Yeah, the only other one that I got, I talked to Oscar Beck. He did confirm it was a wrist injury that held him out originally. And then when he came back, I think he said it was Nashville. Is that when he came
Believe
back?
he came back for the Nashville game and then didn't play against the Capitals
Yeah.
or the
So
Lightning.
he was actually shielding. Someone came in for a hit, and he was actually trying to protect his wrist because his wrist was still sore.
That's when you get hurt.
And in doing that, hurt his shoulder.
That's when you
something
get
with
hurt.
his AC joint. So he was, I don't know, missed 2 games after that. He's back. He said he feels great. He also has the braces off. He said he had those for a year and a half. Just got those off 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. So he should be a new man now, and hopefully we start to see the best of Oscar Beck as well.
All right, up next, well, and apparently NHL.com doesn't think enough of our young Wyatt Johnston. So let's talk about it here on the DLS Stars podcast.
But I suppose we got to rehash these shirts and the beer drinking trophy.
You only
at
have
Hooters coming
yourself
up.
to blame, Lud.
Well, here's the Dallas collection. This is our DLS face-off collection, and we've got the Dallas hockey shirt and just the Dallas Stars shirt up on top, and everybody's kind of digging that green one. So, and just so everybody knows that our little event coming up. When is that coming
December
up?
7th.
December 7th?
Yeah, we're
Seems
about
like
a month
it's getting
away.
closer for some reason. Yeah, if you come walking in the Hooters door at whatever time that may be, we're not going to disclose what time it is.
You're hoping to have a few less folks show up, right?
Les is apparently going to buy some beers if you guys are sporting one of these 2 shirts. It's got to be one of these 2 shirts, though, right? Because our window's already gone as far as getting to the number, right?
No.
So,
We honestly don't know. We
Well,
might
see,
have
don't know the rules.
hit it, but our boss is not. In
well, he's still
contact,
not
so-
here. He's stuck
Yeah.
in a haunted house.
He's in Disney.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's our shirt collection that we're pimping out right now.
alldls.com. You can get any of the shirts, whether it's a classic flag shirt like this one, the Cooper flag one, the Page Beckers, you name it. And how do you get a free shirt? Well, sign up to be a diehard. Before you do, though, sign up for free to be part of our newsletter. It's the piece of cake. alldls.com/newsletter. And you just put in your email address. Boom. Now you get the DLS email every day during the week. And it's a great way to remind you what's going on. You know, the Cowboys are playing tonight on Monday Night Football. So there's a big newsletter this morning talking about that, how the Stars were doing, and all that implies. But scan the QR code down near Ludz's leg if you're watching, or go to alldls.com. Sign up to be a diehard. We'll give you a free t-shirt of your choice for the first year of your annual subscription. It could be one of the new face-off shirts of those collection. There could be any number of the ones that we have available, whether it's a Stars themed, Mavs, Cowboys, Rangers, Wings, that new Page Beckers one, the Rookie of the Year that Blood so highly covets. And of course, being a diehard gets you access to all the things, whether it's the articles, the discount on merchandise, discount on events like our Stars Takeover, which is already sold out, all that and much more. You should definitely sign up to be a diehard. It's a great deal, and you get lots of perks for it.
I have 3 things to say before we get into
Please.
this. Someone has come up with the name Ottfather for Jake Oettinger as the Godfather, which I think is hilarious.
Wouldn't the Ottfather be Essa Lindell? Because didn't Jake say that
Is
Essa
that
was
it?
Well, didn't he joke last year that Essa's so great defending around his net
No,
that
he'd be
he
the Godfather.
wanted to be the Godfather, aka the Ottfather of his kid?
That would make sense.
You'll have to ask him about
Number 2, it is Mikko Rantanen bobblehead night tomorrow night.
that. Thank you.
So
Yep.
good luck for everyone who tries to get one of those. I know that is always a chaotic event. And then number 3, we didn't mention, is the Brad Alberts posted his eyeballs today
Oh,
on
yes,
Twitter.
he did.
And the Stars had some new breezers pants today at practice with the Dallas, the old school kind of Dallas that Luds knows well,
Down the word
on
mark
the
down
side.
the side.
So I don't know if that's tomorrow or something, but I think we are finally getting very close to seeing what this new third jersey
You
looks
think the
like.
Stars are going to do the whole like warm up switch reveal like Colorado and Pittsburgh,
I don't
or
know.
not Colorado, LA or Pittsburgh did this
They're
year?
being very secretive about this jersey. So
And then the
it would
question
not
is,
surprise me
would-
if they did.
Would it be connected in a certain way to any other promotion? I mean, if you have the bobblehead night, is it a retro night? They're doing a bunch of those.
I don't know.
Find out. Okay.
Keep your eyes open.
Well, guys, I saw this last week, and I've been sitting on this because we didn't have a regular show. But the NHL.com, and I want to get your opinion on this, and I have a question related. NHL.com, their writers did a projected 2026 Team Canada Olympic roster. As you can see, Thomas Harley is amongst their defensemen. The goalies are the same 3, no surprise there. And you see, if you can look at the graphic, you can see the ones with the asterisks by their name. They were the ones that were named as the preliminary roster, sort of the unveiling early on. No surprises for a lot of those. But the one that big omission here, fellas, is Wyatt Johnston is not part of their pick. Now, to be fair to the NHL.com selection committee for this, Wyatt was not part of the Four Nations face-off, whereas Thomas Harley was a late sort of addition to the group and played very well in that. So I'm looking at those forwards. I'm wondering
I'd like to know which one you're going to take out.
That's my questions. My questions are, what does Wyatt have to do to make this team, and which guy would you remove so that Wyatt Johnston goes? This is presuming that everyone's healthy. You know, maybe he makes it because of an injury replacement, which is how Harley made it last time. But as you go through this Canadian roster, how does Wyatt Johnston get on this team?
I have one.
Who?
One player Cirelli.
Really?
The only one that I think stands out to me.
He brings an element of heaviness.
And that's the
What
problem.
about
but
the
they do have a
speed
good
on the
amount of
penalty
that.
kill?
And you've got guys that are champions. You've got guys.
Got a bunch of them.
You got to list a bunch of guys up there that
And his head coach is the
that
coach
have-
for Team Canada.
And that's the problem, right? When you look
played
at
in
this,
some very big games.
I
at
used to
very
always
big
look at
moments.
players and be like, oh, Matt Duchene, he's going to be on Canada. Like, he's too good. But then it's when you see this on paper, you go, oh, this is why they're not on this team. So for me, it would be someone like a Cirelli or Suzuki, maybe. Those are my low-hanging fruit that could be.
they're all good players.
Yeah, every one of them. But the other ones are non-negotiable if they're healthy. I don't think you can take anyone else out of that.
You know, we were
roster.
talking. Yeah, because of the physicality.
I think
and
he has to be
he's
there.
been-
Who are you talking about?
For the
Tom
Canucks.
Wilson?
Oh yeah.
They're going to go against the
Especially
Canucks
the way he's
twice.
played.
No.
Here's my question.
You got to
Or
remember
maybe-
who they're going to go up against.
Maybe
too,
this is an easy one,
probably.
but Brendan Hagel was not a shoo-in for this a year or two ago. But as we talked about Thursday, he's become indispensable for both the
Two-way.
Lightning and for Canada because, I mean, when he was with Chicago, he was not in this stratosphere, was he?
He's got an edgy side to him too. You know, he brings that element.
He
too.
does.
So that, you know, again, yeah, it's hard to argue that you'd like to see Wyatt there, but again, you got to remember this is a short tournament, and this is about and it's going to be apparently it's going to be on a smaller building than an NHL one.
Yes.
They say it's like 5 feet smaller.
Didn't they break that news to us on our show? in
No,
the
that
summer?
was Army.
That was
Yeah, it
Doug
was Army,
Armstrong
yeah,
broke
yeah.
it on
That's what I
the
thought.
Yeah. So it's gonna be who pushes who out of the fight, you know, and there's not a lot of space out there. So.
They're also worried that rink isn't going to be ready.
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
Olympics, which is great.
Exactly.
So does Wyatt have to not hope for injury, but does he have to bank on injury to have a shot to make that team?
I don't know. I mean, there might be someone there that I'm sure they have him on the next 5 list or whatever number that would be. So yeah, that would for sure be one way for him to get there. But I mean, if he just continues to score goals 2 out of 3 games, you know, going down the stretch, I mean, it'd be hard to keep him off. But again, this is a short event, and that's how they're putting these teams together. It's just like the Schaefer kid. I mean, he's young and, you know, but is he right for this event right now?
What do you
I don't
think?
know if he would be. I like veterans and these kind of things. I like guys that have been there. They've played under those lights and under them circumstances, and the moment isn't going to be too big for them. And I'm not saying it would be for Schaefer. He's got confidence, obviously, and Wyatt and things like that.
Have you watched Schaefer much yet?
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
Wow.
That's what I keep hearing.
Wow.
I haven't
He's
seen
a little you know what? He can be reckless, but my God, is he something for an 18-year-old kid
crazy, right?
that steps in, and Patrick's playing him 26 minutes a night. 26 minutes a night for a 17. He was just 17. I would say he was just 17 a year ago, and people would go, "Well, no kidding.
Yeah.
He's 18 now."
But it is ridiculous to think about an 18-year-old, especially on defense, doing that.
And the thing is he's kind of like Makar. He doesn't really play defense. He plays the defense by keeping the puck with him the whole time.
Controlling the game.
He gets the puck and he beats people going up there. I mean, he is very Makar-like without having, you know, those skins on the wall yet.
Yep.
By the way, did you guys see Makar's brother the other night, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah. He only played 6 minutes.
Cool,
but-
they'll make his debut.
Yeah. Former Maine Black Bear, Sam.
Yeah.
Love that.
John Walton, our buddy from the Capitals, was here last week when the Ovechkin train came through, and he said, because we haven't seen Schaefer play in person yet. He had, and he said, "Wait till you see him." His reaction was almost identical to yours. He's like, wow, he's the real deal.
Well, it's similar for me. I'm guessing right now is when I first saw Quinn Hughes play live. To watch things that they do on TV is one thing. It's just like the game itself. You know, watch. That's how people get hooked on this game. Is you got to actually go watch a game. But to see what they can do in tight areas of the ice, and when there's guys trying to, you know, pace you to the boards, and this Schaefer kid, I mean, he's fearless, and he just takes the puck and he goes. And so, anyways, he's very Quinn Hughes like. It's these guys are great for this sport. You know, and the more people that are close to Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes for defensemen, it changes the game. I mean, again, you don't have to play as much in your own. You know, I mean, very similar when Miro's got the puck.
Yep.
You know, Miro skates the puck out with ease a lot of times.
Let's take a quick look at the NHL 3 Stars of the Week as we wrap up our show today, because one of the 3 Stars of the Week will be in Dallas on Thursday. I would imagine, you know, you don't know exactly how they decide on goaltending of who's going to play where, but the number 1 star of the week in the NHL is selected by whoever does it inside the NHL league office is Anaheim Ducks goalie Lucas Dostal. And he had a 3-0 record, 948 save percentage, 1.63 goals against average. I would imagine you'll see him on Thursday night when they play in Dallas. But then look at the 2 skaters. You have 2 teams that are not necessarily at the top of the league. Drake Batherson led all players this week in scoring with 8 points. And then Philip Kurashev, former Blackhawk, now playing in San Jose, put up some big numbers this week.
I gotta tell you, I watched that Ducks game last night.
Oh,
It's
pretty good team.
good team.
What
They have some flash from them. They beat the Devils last night 4-1.
Devils are
And the
what's
Devils
that,
had just
third?
won like 7 games.
Yeah.
That only
something
like
like
their third loss of the year.
So, yeah. The Devils have been great. But anyway,
Yeah,
they've
fourth
got
loss.
they have got some skill and some speed, and you know they're still not the best defensive team, but they're definitely an entertaining team to watch.
Ducks are currently tied with Vegas, 15 points, and Edmonton. Although Edmonton's played 2 more games for the first place spot in the Pacific Division.
Anaheim's 7-2-1 in their last 10 games, so they're
They've
playing
won
well.
3 in a row.
Yeah, they're playing well.
Dostal's played them all. Is that now that we're way too early, 11 games in? Actually, you know what? This is perfect timing. Today's November 3rd. It's our first regular show broadcast after November 1st. We were talking about this the other day, this date of how many points out of a playoff spot by November 1st was your saying about making the playoffs?
Oh, what was that?
4 points?
4
You're
points.
more than 4 points out of a playoff spot.
Yep.
So let me just pull up the
But
wild
that was,
cards.
but the number was that there were 72 teams, I believe, what it was, and 10 of them, only 10 of those 72 made the playoff.
That would be St. Louis and Calgary in the West.
So
That's
so you're saying that if you're not within 4 points. Now, here's the wild thing. In the Eastern Conference, the first wild card spot, actually third place in both divisions, and last place in the wild card race, they're separated by 1 point. So if you have 13 points,
That
or
was
14,
last year.
I mean, it's so tight.
It's wide open.
And
over
yeah,
there.
and it's not that much spread out yet.
Okay, let me say it again. In the salary cap era, if you're 4 or more points out on November 1st,
okay,
there has been 72 teams and 10 have made the playoffs. So that's what that was.
that have been more than 4.
That would include San Jose
Yeah.
as well.
You
San Jose,
say
St.
it
Louis,
in English
Calgary.
the best you can.
I don't honestly.
That's why I wrote it all down.
I'm glad
I
you did. That's
butchered
about
it
right.
to start with.
But Sam, like you're saying, the teams St. Louis and Calgary, the only teams that are more than 3
More
points
than
or
four,
more than
yeah.
4 out. So it's still, I still like going.
Is anybody under 500 in the East? In the East, I don't think there's one team under 500. Isn't Boston
No.
500?
No,
and they're
there's 6 teams that are at
542.
542, which is the worst record.
there's nobody under
Crazy.
500
Or,
in the
no,
East.
Crazy.
sorry, Boston's 500. but
Yeah,
they've
that's
played
it.
more
Meanwhile,
games.
Calgary's
That's it.
rocking a 0.29.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is something else. Yeah, it's really tight still. I still like to go with American Thanksgiving. We say American just for our Canadian friends. We all just call it Thanksgiving here on the show. But at that point, it's about 80% typically in the salary cap era. If you're out of a playoff spot at Thanksgiving, you're probably not going to. There's still a few.
Watch
but
out for those Blues.
watch out for those Blues. Finally, don't forget, we will be hanging out on PNC Plaza
You
this
know what I
Thursday.
forgot to say? You remember with the Steve Ott one up there? You know what was important about Otter? You guys picked it up right away, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that day, that was the picture of him was in the parade. He had 13 beers that day. and Jake just hit his 13th career shutout. That's why I had it up there. That was the whole point.
That's next level reporting.
I had 13 beers in the first hour when we won the cup.
No,
we're not going into overtime. We'll see you, folks.
Mr. Leahy had 49 drinks that
Just
day.
do it. Just do it. All right, Luds, you
You
have
had
to
to
listen
do
to
that.
this. Come hang out with us on Thursday night, the 6th of November, from about, let's say, 6 to 7, right before the puck drops between the Stars and the Ducks. The Main Street pop-up branch for PNC Bank will actually be there, I believe, starting at 4:30. But Sam, Luds, and I will all be out there about somewhere in between 5:30 and 6 till right about game time. Get your free hockey hair hat thanks to PNC Bank.
Nice.
And come take pictures with us. We'll have these. We'll say hi. And, of course, we'll be at the game, or at least a couple of us will. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night for Stars and Oilers pregame show right here on DLLS.
We all silly like the mayor.